Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea Renee, one of the co founders of What's Good Games, a video games media company. I'm glad to be back here at GamesBeat Summit 2022, and I'm even more honored and excited to be joined by one of the most powerful women in video games that you've probably never talked to because she's just so dang busy. Please welcome Michelle Liu, Tencent Games Global CEO. Michelle, it's such a privilege to talk to you today. How have you been? How are things going over in China?
Thanks, Andrew. Well, my story is actually quite simple. I'm a veteran of the gaming industry and I have been in the industry for over 20 years. And I joined Tencent at the end of 2013. I have been worked at Tencent for more than 8 years. Before moving to global business, I was in charge of mobile publishing business. In 2019, I transferred to lead the global gaming business.
When you think about Tencent as a global games player, it's quite a massive scale to be working on these days. What would you describe as Tencent Games' vision for the global games market and what you guys are hoping to achieve with your partners?
Wow, that's a good question. Our vision on global gaming business at Tencent is to build a global ecosystem that integrates gaming developing and publishing systems. By closely connecting and well aligning the development and the publishing functions, the ecosystem will help us to get a deeper understanding into local users and better connected between game content and the users. It's certainly beneficial for us to create more and more high quality games. Then, based on the understanding of users' requirements and the exploration of the new technologies, we work with the developers and even users to explore new gaming experience. In the long run, we believe game would bring more energy and fun to the world and potentials people's lives. There is still a lot of room for us to explore how games can bring more meaningful things to the world. So
I mean,
that's
it's such
all
a
for our.
I mean, it's a lot to unpack there because clearly Tencent is such a massive player in the global market. You are working with developers of all different kinds. And as you already mentioned, you used to work in mobile games becoming such a huge part of the gaming industry, but also the rise of the new console generations would have brought new technology. As somebody who gets to work with publishers of all different kinds, are you seeing developers sort of lean to one technology platform over the other, or is it kind of all mixed around?
Um, I think yes. That's generally we have build a good relationships of the developers all over the world and our collaboration model is built around supporting our studio partners to achieve their own growth objectives. So we focus on establishing a shared long-term vision with studios and then work to give them the resources and the creative autonomy necessary to build toward it. Each studio has a unique history and development culture, which we aim to keep by taking the tailored approach to collaboration instead of building a one size fits all model. So we are quite confident that Tencent has built successful partnerships over the past decade, notable with the companies like Riot, Supercell, Epic, and more. In those partnerships, the success is quite self-driven. The core teams of those companies are clear on what they want to accomplish, whether it's launching new IPs, growing existing ones, or building new technology. And Tencent's role is to enable, empower, and support with the resources and the expertise we have.
I think a lot of people from the outside looking in see Tencent sometimes as just this big behemoth with a big bank account to invest in all of these different gaming companies. But you have a much more hands on approach, as you just discussed. This idea that you want to work closely with your partners and also want to tailor each individual partnership to what that partner needs. It's really fascinating to me because as a such a massive global company, you have an expertise that a lot of other gaming companies don't have. How does the expertise that Tencent has in the global market help some of your partners?
Wow, yeah. Speaking of this, many of the studios we are working with closely now have a strong ambitions to create next gen games and IPs, and yeah, they are more expensive and immersive than anything they've created in the past. So on the Tencent side, we offer a variety of resources and core capabilities to help them to achieve those aims. And I think the first one is, much of our success in the China market is due to the mobile development and operations expertise. And in recent years, we've partnered with the top global IPs to bring more mobile games to the market. As more games look to go cross platform, we can assist in this area, I believe. And secondly, for studios building live service titles, we have experts in house that help crafting live operations plans, assessing content production needs, monetization models, and so on. This draws on our deep experience operation games for years and even decades in some cases through a gas model. And certainly, we can leverage the global reach of Tencent to push regional marketing and publishing initiatives, which most studios and developers may struggle to achieve on their own. A specific example here would be Pass Off Axel. We've worked with GGG on boosting marketing in the North American market through influencer collaboration, PR, and community resources. We helped GGG hit new heights in terms of player base. And the last and fourth, technical wise, studios can get technical support and solutions from Tencent, like IT structure and data analytics solution. We are currently working with Funcom on data solution for Conan Exos to better understand the player behaviors and improve ongoing operations.
There's just so much that Tencent does. It feels like there's nothing that you don't do. It's really interesting set against the backdrop of all of the acquisitions that have been happening in the video games industry. But you have just, at length described all the different ways that Tencent has helped their partners in addition to also acquiring studios. Do you think that Tencent is going to continue to keep partnering with other publishers and other game makers? Or are you guys more focused on bringing more studios internal?
Definitely, we will open our mind and cooperate with all the best developers around the world. And that's what we want to build. So what we want to build is the production system all over the world. So we were based on what we are good at, and we are open to collaborate with all the best partners and build up the better ecosystem and to help to explore the new room of the gaming industry.
It seems like there's not really a part of the games industry that Tencent as a global business hasn't really touched, but is there a specific genre or a type of game or an innovation that's coming, a technology that you as a business are interested in potentially exploring more? Like, for example, exploring more into AR or VR or going more into toys to life or any other specific category that Tencent as a business is like, we're really got our eye on this one.
Yes, that's a good topic. I think, yeah, at GDC this year, one of the Tencent AI Labs showcases is to implement AI technology in player education and game level generation in Honor of Kings, which shows how AI improves gaming experience and game production efficiency. So, that combined with the new technology, we can explore more. That's for definitely. But yeah, at the same time, I believe that for Tencent side, we do have a lot of capabilities that we can support our partners. Um, Now we will see that we had some, especially gas capability and live ups and esports, all our core capabilities that we can collaborate with the partners. So from this on, I think we can do more on the cross-platform production and all regions publishing.
Cross platform play is something I personally find really exciting. I know a lot of gamers are very happy that cross platform is finally here, but it seems that some studios are still having trouble implementing it. Do you think that cross platform is going to become ubiquitous, or do you think there will always be a place for online play that is not cross platform?
I think definitely cross-platform is the direction. And finally, we will go to the platform, cross-platform, the model that for all the games. And that's all the things for the players is try to be more free and can explore freely in the game. So I think the platform were not limited players. So I think, yeah, all the content can be supplied to the users and that them to freely to explore in the game is the right direction. So I think it must be the things that we can explore put together in our partnership group, that some are good at the PC and console capabilities, and the others may be better in the mobile genre. So I think both are good. And what we are facing is to uh, let them leverage the expertise from each other and empower each other, and to the direction that we will be the cross-platform model.
Well, I think that sounds exciting. I think a lot of people listening are like, cross platform for everybody. Let's do it. I do want to touch on the fact that you mentioned a campaign that you did here in North America with GGG and using influencers. And somebody who works in media, I always find it really fascinating the different types of campaigns that publishers and video game developers are doing now for marketing, because the marketing on a global scale is quite diverse. Do you find that your publishers or even Tencent's own internal campaigns tend to go one way now? Are you focusing, on traditional media buys, or are you starting to put more of your budgets into more grassroots types of campaigns like influencer marketing, like streaming on platforms like YouTube and Twitch, even things like TikTok, right? Other kinds of social media campaigns to market your games?
The gaming industry is always evolving industry. So I think the users are changing and the product content is changing. And yes, the media itself are changing. So I think that's all the good opportunity for us and to explore what's the new models, what's the new mechanics we can supply. So I think not only for the influencers this streaming this only, so we do face a lot of changes and that's what we are thinking. So from my perspective that Tencent is doing a lot of systemic restructuring on our global business. So um, we are building teams that are sitting in the regions and serving on the ground. We are building now 12 fully function local publishing teams this year, and there will be the regional publisher to managing the publishing activities in each local markets. That means that we are pay more attention on the local users and what they need, what's their requirements. And so on this part, that one side we will pay more attention on what's the users needs and what they through what kind of media to contact the product. In this part, I think the esports is a new thing, and not just they are the marketing channel, and but also they created new creative contents for the users. So um, at the other hand, we are uh, building our central function center in the HQ and offer a series of shared service capability and expert support to the regional team. So that's we can build a better operating system and better supporting the users that how they can the sufficient media and the channels to contact the product the gaming content directly and more freely.
I'm curious, these regional centers that you mentioned, did the pandemic make it more difficult to get those teams up and running, or were they really a byproduct of needing to get people more mobile in their more localized communities?
Right. Yeah. For the pandemic issue, that all the regional teams have some new challenges and yeah, local problems. But I think yeah, we have lots of new products, new games to launch, and local teams they are struggling uh, during the pandemic, but at the same time they are building up a kind of the resources and depend on uh, the HQs teams supporting that they're still pushing a lot of progress. Like recently, we have some tournaments locally of the PUBG Mobile and have a good feedback from the users. And yes, I think it's not easy thing in the specific pandemic period, but I think everything we should to find a new approach and we can set it in maybe a new approach like esports. We currently can't to hold the physical the event in some regions, but yeah, still we can to do it online, and we will collect more the online users to visit our tournament. And I think it's a broad rooms that we can explore. It's still a big room and a good opportunity for us to explore.
I feel like there's a whole nother conversation we could have about esports and clearly Tencent's global role in it, which is a big one. But instead, I'm going to talk about something that I'm very interested in, and that's you. Getting to see women in CEO positions is pretty rare. And so I think it's an amazing opportunity that I got some time on your schedule to chat with you. I know you have a long list of responsibilities at your job, but one of those responsibilities in your life is also being a mom. I became a mom last year, and let me tell you, work life balance is very challenging. And you, as a busy CEO, must have some tricks up your sleeve. Can you share any pro tips for me?
Oh, congratulations, Andrea.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
yes, I was often asked the same question. Actually, this is also a difficult question that I've been facing, and it needs to be explored all the time. And it's challenging for all working mom that to manage work and family, I believe. And if I could suggest, there's 4 points I want to share. Uh, the very first thing I want to say is companion is the true love. Always try your best to spend some time together with your kids, no matter how busy you are. Your time commitment may be different for different stage during your kids' growth. And however, at least make sure you can spend the most important moments with your kids and family. And then you can feel the love for each other. And the second is trying to understand and support these kids. And I think, yeah, both Angie, you and I, because we are in the industry uh, of gaming, so we have more opportunities to understand the young generation and their needs. So it's important to sit down next to them, look to them, and exchange your thoughts. That's more positive attitude. It's always better to be a friend as opposed to being a judge. And then I believe each child has its unique talent and potential. So trust them, respect their personality and strengths, just support their attempts and decisions. Let them be the boss and make the decisions. Lastly, try to have more communication between the couple, well aligned between the mom and the dad. Uh, Both of you maybe are busy, but try best to understand and support and back up each other. I believe a good family's atmosphere will certainly help kids grow better.
Absolutely. It's such a good reminder for us all to, take time to focus on family. We sometimes get so caught up in the excitement of our jobs that, our family is like, "Hey, what about me?" Do you ever get the opportunity to play games with your kids?
Yes, definitely. We played some games on the Switch or online games sometimes. But yeah, they're older teenagers. They have their own friends, so yeah, not always play together. But I think yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to enjoy the family time.
It must be so cool for them to have a mom who works in video games. Do they think it's really cool, or do they think that you're a big nerd like my kid's gonna think of me someday?
I think it's quite good. So I always have some topic to discuss with them and to share the opinions, even with their friends. So I think, yeah, I'm really in older moms group, right?
Well, 1 point for the cool mom factor. We're almost out of time with our discussion today, and I wanted to ask if there was anything else that you are really excited about or want everybody listening and watching to know about where Tencent Games is going as a global business and what you are hoping to achieve.
Uh, I think yes, we at Tencent, we just at the beginning stage of the global business, so we are still learn. and we're still to think all the things over and try to make everything clear and better. But for the long run, I think we want to bring more energy to the industry and to the users. And we definitely believe that the gaming industry is very good and have the big potentials and a lot of technologies revolutions and a lot of new boundary we can reach and outreach. That is what our meaning to be in the gaming industry. So I think what's our thinking and we are doing is to explore more with all the developers and users that what can bring our the game industry more meaningful.
Well, it's wonderful to hear that you guys are taking such an active role in your partnerships and your internal studios and really pushing the medium forward, looking towards what's the next big innovation coming and how can we not only support our partners, but support players and communities, not just on a global scale, but also on a small regional and local scale as well. Michelle, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me here at GamesBeat Summit. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope that you have fun with the next game that you play with your kids.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Meet you next time. Hope.